Okay, we have the green bars, we have the live counter sticking up, so we should now be live, which of course means welcome back to the Storytime Network. We are back with more D&D. The training arc is upon us. Let's get started.
So, last time with our heroes, Seamus, the beaten the shit out of Bard, Felix, the beaten the shit out of Painter, Aldane, the beaten the shit out of Paladin, and Dairon, the... Did Dairon have the highest HP by the end of the fight?
Oh, I was down. I got down.
Oh no. Yeah, Darren also the beaten the shit out of Rogue, alongside a not so beaten the shit out of Rua, but that was for reasons.
Mm-hmm.
The four of you engaged in a spar with Akhrua Everay,
Who wrecked our shits?
who started off the fight basically going through different phases of his different classes, starting off as a samurai, before then changing to his Horizon Walker abilities, then switching to his four elements, the way of the four elements, before eventually mixing all of his abilities in one, effectively fighting you for real. Many of you got downed more than once. However, as Dairon especially noted and pointed out, Akhrua was avoiding trying to hurt Rua. Nevertheless, it didn't really stop Akhrua from kicking the shit out of everyone. And after many counter spells of varying levels, many horrifying things, learning that apparently Akhrua can cast more than one leveled spell if he wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
He also has the ability to seemingly concentrate on two spells at once. Among many other wonderful and definitely not horrifying things about him and how powerful he is. In the end, however, Dairon was able to bring Akhrua down to 0 hit points. And with the last bit of energy he had before he would have collapsed, he healed himself slightly, as well as Seamus and Felix. Afterwards, he expressed his admiration for your abilities and your resourcefulness, and basically told you to go to the hot springs and bathe and clean off and rest. And afterwards, he would then eventually retrieve you guys for whatever the rest of the training would entail. So, you are gathered at the hot springs. You find, changing sheds for each of you, with robes, towels, and stuff like that. And yeah. So, you notice as well, there's even bandages to wrap any parts of your bodies in. And there's different kinds of robes for males or females, and of different heights and builds. And the same for towels as well.
Nice.
Once you all get changed, you already see Rua is in one of the hot springs. He's only visible from his neck and up.
Wow, you got ready quick.
Grandpa taught me how to throw my own clothes off as quick as he can.
That makes sense, yeah.
Also, I only have one arm to really need to work around. So it makes things easier to maneuver around, my lack of an arm.
So I take it he also went to the Cosma School of Coat Removal?
Who?
Yeah, I figured the
Oh,
arm
don't
thing
worry
was
about
a part of it, but I didn't really want to say.
I don't mind if you talk about it. I mean, heck, you saw how cordial I was with Colgan.
Mm-hmm. What's a lost arm between two frenemies?
That's very generous, Aldane.
Acquaint. How do you portmanteau acquaintance and nemesis?
Equate enemies.
Well, if the world is just, he will also be losing an arm next time we meet. And I will call out a similarly cool and alliterative attack name.
Sounds like a fun time.
They were cool.
You didn't think Scintillating Slicer and Regicide Rend were cool?
Eh.
Sure, let's go with that. How are
Oh,
you
what? What? Fireball is cool?
That is a
Lightning
literal.
bolt?
That is a literal necessary part of the spell.
Cringe. Couldn't be me.
I mean, look, if I just put my hand in the water and think, nothing happens. But if I say shocking grasp...
Wait, Shark, no.
I mean, yeah, and you can do Shocking Grasp, and then I'll actually get out the water and twist your nads off. I only need one arm to do that. You've seen the Everay family growing kick more than once, haven't you?
Mm-hmm.
Like that fight specifically.
Yeah. That was crazy, though, fighting against him like that.
Yeah, I didn't think the whole two spells thing was possible.
Oh, I already knew he could do that.
A little warning would have been
And
nice.
you didn't tell us.
I wanted you to be as surprised as I was when you did it on me. Also, it's not like it would stop you from, like... You'd still have to deal with it.
That's what tricks.
You know, you could know...
Oh,
You could know someone has, like, a bomb. It's not exactly still easy to work around a bomb.
I mean, who knows what our enemy in Black Rain's gonna have up his sleeve. So,
A giant
for
ancient
anything.
black dragon?
yeah.
Also just multiple dragons, from what was described.
And God knows how many of his kids.
At least some of them don't really seem to like him that much, which, you know, I don't really blame them.
Yeah, but you still have to deal with Testament and, like, the other true believers.
Is Testament actually that tough?
All of you give me a history check. Rua will also participate in this.
It is his story, after all.
Nope. I completely ignored Black Rain history, apparently.
Alarian has a +4 to history. Let's see how that. Nope.
Hey, I know a thing or two.
So, Felix and Aldane, you have no reason to believe that he's strong. He's a politician, after all. Seamus and Dairon, you both would remember he was going to be the vessel for Eben before Kuro was conceived. Or born, I should say. Which has implications.
Who was?
Testament was supposed to be the vessel.
Yeah, I wouldn't... Testament is at least Kuro's rival. Because he's the... What's the word I want to use here?
Predecessor?
Not predecessor, prototype.
Oh, yeah, true. I mean, from what Kuro told me back when he was telling me about, you know, his past, he apparently could never beat Testament in a fight, But at the time, Kuro was still not even 10 years old, and Testament is like, I think he said like 5 or 6 years older than him, so the turns might be different. The situation might be different now, considering that Kuro has been a trained fighter.
But we
We
still don't know the ways in
estimate
which.
Testament to be
Yeah.
about
We
Kuro's
also
level.
can't underestimate how strong he's got.
True.
Hmm.
The thing is, as well, he was, engineered to be the elected official of Black Rain, and from what talks I've had with Hayato during the times that I've not been with you guys, apparently a couple of assassins have been sent to try and kill him, and he has actually repelled them.
Always a good sign.
So he's the perfect politician?
I mean, I'm here. Come on.
Dyra just side-eyes Rua's lack of charisma.
Rua, you know we like you, right? So don't take this the wrong way, but you're not a very good politician.
Yeah, I know. I don't try to be.
You're a decent administrator, at least, but politician? No.
I don't like dealing with that nonsense.
I don't blame you. It's shitty.
It's why I wanted my dad to have a second kid, so I didn't have to do it.
Unfortunately, yeah. I'm not going to go into that.
I mean, when this is all done, I do intend to try and ease the populace into the concept of electing people to be in charge.
That'll take a while.
I know. I mean, hey, I can live for over 700 years. I'm patient.
Oh, samesies!
Yeah, we're both
Lucky
elves,
bastards.
of course.
I'll be lucky if I live 150 more years.
I'm either gonna die at 12 or 9 till 90 fucking 3.
Sounds like a skill issue.
I know what it takes to become immortal, and I don't want to fuck with that shit.
I mean, from what my granddad said, based on how strong he is now, he isn't sure if his lifespan has actually been extended or not.
I mean,
How old is Akhrua again?
You said he spent a lot of time in the astral.
So, from what he told me, he said he's over 300 years old. He hasn't actually spent that long in the astral plane, according to him. Oh, Darren's deafened. Oh, hello. Yeah, apparently he hasn't spent that long in the astral plane. Apparently he's always made sure to never spend longer than what a year would be. But, I don't know. Like I said though, even he isn't sure when he could die of old age.
Like I said, immortality is not something I'm willing to talk about. I'm fine with my natural lifespan for the most part.
Joke's on you, Dyra's gonna live forever.
Besides, most people I know will either have a similar lifespan to me, or they'll outlive me.
Well, let's not think of that. After all, we can at least be safe in the knowledge that we'll outlive Eben.
Yep. We are going to wreck his shit. Assuming none of us died in the process.
On the plus side, if we do, it sounds like we could meet your grandma, Rua.
True.
I mean, that's
I haven't
obviously,
actually-
you know, don't go getting yourself killed just to make a visit, but yeah, it's
I can revivify him as long as it's like less than an hour. It should be fine. Is it less than an hour or is it less than a minute? I don't remember.
less than
Less
a
than
minute.
a minute.
Well, it'll have to be a quick visit, Rua. I'm sorry.
I mean, we could just plane hop.
I mean, that's eventually the goal, isn't it?
I
Plane
mean-
hopping is complicated.
I mean,
I
Grandpa
guess.
doesn't really talk about her very much. He always gets upset or quiet.
Can't exactly blame him. By all indications, she was the love of his life.
Yeah. Apparently, he did everything with her. First love, first kiss, all of that nonsense.
Yeah, I can see why he'd be devastated.
According to my dad, though, she was very powerful. Physically, stronger than him. And also... How do I describe it? She... From what my dad said, she was very strong-willed, like, the rest of my family. But she was also apparently a bit more... What's the word? She's more willing to be emotional in front of people. Or at the very least, more willing to be affectionate. Whereas from what I know of my granddad and my dad, they tend to like being emotional or affectionate in private without, like, randos seeing it.
Understandable.
Who knows? Maybe we'll see your dad, Haldane.
I'd
If
rather
you-
not.
I feel like at
Fine,
some
then.
point we're gonna have to.
My dad is very much long dead.
Oh, I thought he was still alive. Maybe I got confused.
No, it's my
I-
uncle who's still alive.
Oh, okay.
I've never met my parents.
Honestly, at this point, my stepdad is basically my actual dad.
It's funny how we never seem to see him.
He
Does
may have
he live
stepped
in
up, but he's still very busy.
Does he
He's
live in
not just-
Canada?
He's not just the stepdad, he's the dad that stepped up.
Exactly.
And we've met your
You know.
father-in-law several times, Aldane.
Oh boy. Yeah, that's something I'm gonna have to worry about after we fight Eben.
Are you sure you don't want to, get it over and done with before, just in case you do take a little trip to the underworld?
Well, if there's time on the trip over, maybe. I don't know.
I mean, she isn't coming with us, to my knowledge.
That is the thing.
It would be rude
I'll
if you
make
did
Zara-
it by ascending.
She's learned to cast magic and use spells, but she's not anywhere near our level of power. Not yet, anyway.
Also, I don't think Zaros would like that.
Mm-mm.
True! Very true.
Maybe having the big heroic feat of having slain a black dragon under our belts will make him a bit more open to it.
I don't
I
know.
doubt it.
We've done a lot of stuff already, and that seems to just make him more angry.
Probably because he's expecting that.
I mean, yeah, you haven't exactly been subtle about it.
To be fair, Aldane has accomplished more feats than Zaros. Like, if we had to power scale this.
You know, the thing is, I'm pretty sure Zaros has repelled a number of suitors who are less nice than I am, let's say. He
I
might just be
mean,
jaded by that.
I don't think any of Oriana's suitors have ever released her dad's old crime buddy from a maximum security prison.
You know, that's fair.
Allegedly released him.
You can't provide this.
We still have plausible deniability, I think.
Yeah, no one can prove he did that.
I mean, the news did spread that it got burnt to the ground.
We had
no one-
nothing to do with that.
Officially, yeah.
I mean, I'll roll a deception if you want me to, but
Grandpa told me what happened.
I mean, worst comes to worst, I will put everything I can into being persuasive as fuck.
Ration also told me what happened.
Yeah, no one knows what happened, Rua.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, exactly. I know what happened, and that's it. That's all we need to care about.
yeah.
Nothing happened. Nothing at
Nothing
all.
happened.
Nothing at all. Nothing at all. You thought I was going to go somewhere different with that one, didn't you?
I've been wondering, though, actually, regarding what we're going to be doing with Black Rain. I wonder if we can get Prody's group involved.
Well, we can't exactly send ascending from here. We can do it
True.
after we get out.
True.
And if Orcs
Would
is
be
willing
nice-
to help us, maybe we can get a...
Would be nice to have a battalion of orcs on our side.
Mm-hmm.
So it might be hard to mobilize them logistically.
Yeah.
I mean, it's on the way.
Yeah,
Heck, who knows? Maybe the war beast will even get a kill or two in.
Like cuteness.
What's that?
From cuteness, it will.
True.
Yeah, I suppose Prody's group could meet us at the crossroads as we head towards the coast.
Wish
Well,
we thought about this before we went into the hypersonic lion tamer.
I mean, this is only going to be 2 days outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that would have
So
given them time to prepare.
All that needs to be done is send Prody ascending, see if he can mobilize any forces. If not, then fine.
True.
If they can't come with us, we could at least ask them, see if they'd be willing to defend the border.
Yeah.
That is true. Well, it is what it is. Logistics are not something that we need to worry about at the moment. We have something much more pressing.
I mean, I do.
We do not need to worry about it right now. Right now,
I-
we need to worry about getting stronger.
True.
You sure you don't want to fight a little farewell duel against Zarus before we leave?
I will worry about that after we are done with our training.
I hope you realize at this stage we're just gonna plan and lock you and Oriana in a cupboard or something.
Thanks, I think.
What, 7 minutes? Is it 7 minutes in heaven?
Yes, and after that, I will be facing 7 minutes in hell before dying. If I'm lucky at 7 minutes.
Look, if
you
you
could
can't
take him.
yeah, if you can't handle Zarus, how are you gonna do against all those Black Rain punks?
Ah,
I mean, to be fair, in Aldane's defense, Aldane will be on his own if he fights Zarus. He won't be
yeah, I
alone
don't
against
have
Black
y'all
Rain.
to support me. I'd
Don't
have to
worry.
solo.
You'd still have our support, just not in a physical way.
Look, if I could get some bardic inspiration before starting the duel, I'd appreciate that greatly. But other than that, I don't think any of y'all can support me in any way.
I'm sure some of
physically.
my paint could accidentally end up on your shoulder. And if that happens to inspire you, then, all the better.
Mm-hmm.
And if Seamus happens to play a song that gets you inspired, well, that's just life. And if Darren happens to slip you a poison dagger that you shove in his side, then, oh well, what's the worst that could happen?
I
I'm
thought it's
not going
about
to poison Zarus.
thought it's
in the
about-
duel.
I thought it's about beating Zarus, not killing him.
Yes,
Poison
I'm
doesn't
not
need to
going
be lethal.
Also, he's resistant to poisons, didn't you know?
I'm not going to pull that shit and then get Zarus pissed at me for not fighting fair and square.
Aldane, do you really think he's gonna be any less pissed anyway?
I don't want to chance it. Besides, you know how I am. I'm the honorable paladin.
Yeah.
I think that ship
What
has
was
sailed,
that?
Aldane.
Nothing.
How so?
We've been hanging around Darren for way too long. No offense, Darren.
They are a bad influence, yes.
I mean,
No offense.
considering what I did as a kid, I'm
I'd
still
like
19.
I'd like to think we're still somewhat positive influences as well, but who knows?
I've done a lot of things I do not want to talk about that might get me in trouble.
Yes.
I mean, hey, no one can hear us from inside this domain. I mean, it's not like the Queen of Bovetment can do fuck all.
I mean, at this point, I'd just kill her.
Yeah. I mean, don't.
Eh.
Look,
But you
I
couldn't
don't
hear
think
that.
we need another Oryx situation on our hands.
Eh.
I mean, well, Oryx
what?
didn't kill the king or queen. He just killed a high-ranking noble.
I know,
Killing
but
the actual queen of Bovetment.
Regicide is a bit lush off the moon. Well, rather, killing nobles lush off the moon compared to, regicide.
It's weird to think that it would be a massive crime if I was killed.
Yeah, it's a matter of politics. If I die, it's just regular. If I'm killed, it's just regular murder. But if you die, it's an assassination.
Well, if you're killed, it depends on who kills you.
True. If it's in combat, it doesn't matter.
Well, no, I was going to say if it's Zaras.
Yeah, that'd be a quote-unquote sanctioned duel, according to Zaras.
I mean, no, he would probably be fine with with being charged for it.
don't
True.
worry, we'd stop him from murdering you.
Appreciated. So, the whole thing of the cool motive still murder situation.
Is being an overprotective parent a cool motive?
No. Some might think it is, but I don't think it is. Regardless.
Seamus, have you
Murdering
drowned
now?
over there?
God damn it. Felix.
Steamed ham, steamed Seamus,
You leave me alone for 5 minutes.
boiling like a lobster over there.
He wasn't a rock. He was a rock lobster.
Polymorph into rock lobster. I mean, he could actually polymorph any of the party into a lobster.
He could.
You could try.
Well, yeah, you would probably try to counterspell him, wouldn't you?
What's the
Yeah,
saving?
Unless you thought it was funny.
What's the saving throw on polymorph?
Wisdom.
Yeah, I'd counterspell that. If it was intelligence, I'd leave it.
That actually reminds me. One of you guys should put counterspell in my Moonblade.
Yeah, we can do that.
Oh, yeah.
I already
How
still
long
have
how long do the stores last at the Moonblade? Is it indefinite?
Eternal.
Excellent. Should I store Revivify in there?
Grandpa already stored Revivify in it.
Excellent. Now we have two people who can do Revivify.
It's how I revived that mammoth, if you remember.
Right.
Vaguely.
I mean, that was a while ago.
Mhm.
That was also the first time I dealt with a Dracolich piece.
It's been a hot minute.
It was also the first time Brody dealt with one, if I recall.
Yeah, that was the ice dragon, the white dragon, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was not a fun time.
I mean, have they ever been fun?
No.
From how you described the first ever one, that seems like a particularly awful brand of creepy.
Oh,
Pretty
it
sure
was
Darren
not
still
great.
has- Pretty sure Darren still has trauma over that. They just don't want to talk about it.
Imagine
Yeah,
having trauma from that.
I try not to think about it.
I mean, at least...
It's okay, Darren. If you ever want to talk, we're here.
Never. Not to you fucks.
I mean, heck, Felix was forced to dream because of it.
It was not fun. I don't know how you people do it.
Usually I just
General
forget about it.
funniness.
Speaking of that whole Forbidden Ice adventure, didn't you think it was weird that we got all those hints about Alistair Hamilton and then he never just showed up?
Yeah, that was weird.
Apparently, Grandpa told me about it. He actually went back. Well, no, I say went back. Visited there, found him, spoke to him, and then Yeah.
So was he just shy? Couldn't be bothered talking to us?
According to Grandpa, he's always been a little bit standoffish.
Hmm. I wonder if my wand of lightning bolt is still out there.
Who needs a wand when you can just cast it now anyway?
'Cause I can't? Question mark.
Oh, you can't?
I don't think so.
Oh. Ooh.
Didn't you lose that one thing in the avalanche?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't have the wand anymore. Yeah, I'm fairly sure I can't cast it.
Yeah, you all lost stuff in the avalanche. I did as well, actually.
I think I was the best off, and I still lost stuff.
Avalanches for you.
You guys lost stuff?
You did as well. Didn't you lose your Eyes of the Eagle?
I have Eyes of the Eagle.
Oh. I'm just so used to you wearing it, I just sometimes forget.
Dyer just turns to Felix. I lost that in the thing.
Well, hopefully we don't have to lose any of our equipment ever again if we did ever venture there. Well, actually, don't you guys have to head to the Frostfang Mountains eventually?
Eventually.
Apparently the orcs there aren't nice to deal with. They all blend in with the snow.
Yeah, I heard a couple of members of that mercenary group we met when you lost your arm, had been there and they had not had a fun time.
Well, they weren't us.
Thank
No
God.
one is us. Could you imagine being Seamus?
Hey.
I mean, at least Seamus shares his problems.
Fair.
Yeah, because y'all never ask.
I mean,
Yeah,
you
we-
all know my problems. And
I mean,
you
yeah,
ask
we-
about them
yeah.
constantly.
And you know what, Seamus? We still didn't ask.
Do you want to talk about it, Seamus? Do you want to? Because we can talk about it.
Not particularly.
I thought your problems went away when your heritage was restored and then you ran away from it again.
I mean, there weren't really anything for him to run away from, right?
Yeah, I just let someone else manage it so I don't have to do the work. It's called delegating.
Delegating, i.e., letting an entire district be absorbed into another group.
You just gotta delegate good times. Come on. Anywho.
So yeah, you... How do I describe it? So after some talking, eventually you do see Akhrua, who's just, casually walking on top of the surface of the hot springs.
Doesn't that kind of defeat the point?
I'm not here to bathe. I already bathed. I was over there, and he just points to another end of the hot springs.
Fair enough, I
Darren's already
suppose.
walked away.
But come on then. We're gonna be doing some training. Get dressed, get ready.
Okay. Yeah, get out and get changed.
Wait. Joe Biden's no longer running for president?
Wait, what?
He dropped out?
Yeah, he's dropped out.
What?
Oh.
Holy shit.
I literally just found out because of a Guilty Gear shitpost.
That
There's
is
a guild-
fucking
There's a
wild.
guild.
Wow.
There's a well-known Guilty Gear player called Joe Biden, and his @ is actually POTUS. And yeah, what the fuck?
It's fucking crazy.
Oh my god. Anyway,
I guess is that a good thing?
well, now Joe Biden isn't going to be the. Who's going to be the?
It's Kamala Harris, it's the presumptive.
That would be my guess, but I hope they have someone better than that.
So it's going to be decided at the DNC.
My very first decision as the party nominee in 2020 was to pick Kamala Harris as my. No, that's. Anyway, but yeah, I guess it's Jova. Actually, Jova.
Oh boy.
But yeah. Anyway.
I'm just
So-
imagining Akhrua just looking up, just Joe Biden's not running for president anymore. What was that? Oh, nothing.
I intercepted a radio call from another universe.
Akhrua is going to be running for president.
Alex Navarro, Blue Sky. Going to add, I was watching the Grand Blue Finals the day Joe Biden dropped out.
God.
So yeah. That was a wild tangent.
Right?
Yeah. So, you all get dressed and get ready,
Mm-hmm.
and you see Akhrua, who's leads you through this area, and he shows you to a gigantic waterfall. As you look up and arch your, as you rear your heads upwards, you actually can't even see the top of it. There's just clouds that seem to block the top of the waterfall. And Akhrua... So as you look around as well, it's basically like a river. The river itself isn't terribly deep. It's probably only about like knee high. But he, and by the lake, the river, sorry, there is like a hill leading down it on both sides, so you can just kind of go down the slope into the river. And he tells you, so the idea for this is going to be testing your endurance. Each of you will be sitting under the waterfall and using it as an opportunity to clear your mind. So, we're going to be drawing straws. The person who draws the shortest straw is the person who goes in first.
Boy, oh boy.
Which means, I'm going to be assigning people from numbers 1 to 5, Rua being included in that. Mill, Felix is number 1.
Right.
Darren's number 2. Seamus is number 3.
Whoop whoop.
Rua is number 4. And Aldane is number 5. Okay?
Oh, fun.
So... and I rolled 5.
So I'm first.
Yeah.
I assume 6 was a reroll then?
Well, no, I just did a D5.
Oh, I didn't know those existed.
I mean, they technically don't. I have a personal dice roller that I use.
Ah.
I mean, if you do it
It's the
if you do it electronically, it's basically just a random number generator from 1 to 5.
Yeah, but that doesn't sound as cool.
No, of course not.
So, as you make your way to the waterfall, it begins to get progressively harder and harder to hear anything else as the sound of the rushing water drowns out the what's it called? The surroundings. And I'm actually going to give some new music. Here you go, Mill. I just closed the window by accident. One moment. There we go. So, as you get under the waterfall, Aldane, I want you to give me a Constitution saving throw and a Wisdom saving throw.
Oh boy.
I was originally going to say, give me a Strength save, but that, you know. So, you handle the intense coldness of the rushing water. Because it is very cold. You notice, like, actually, by the waterfall, there's actually a rock that you can sit on. And you perch yourself on the rock. It's flat on top of the surface, so you can actually, like, cross your legs or sit however you want. And as you sit down under the waterfall, and the water cascades along your body, you close your eyes, and you are able to kind of find yourself in a meditative state. So, you... How do I describe this? You find yourself basically floating, almost, as your mind travels along all the things that you've done, all the people you've helped, all the friends you've made, the battles you fought, and amongst that, you eventually see a almost blinding light that beckons you forward. As you find yourself heading towards that light, you eventually open your eyes. The surroundings were as they were before you shut your eyes and meditated, but you feel a sense of calmness rush through your body. It's hard to really describe. It's a feeling you've never really... This level of, like, sensation is something you can't recall having felt. But eventually you feel the time is right to get up from the rock, and you head back. As you head back, you... how do I describe it? You feel a bit lighter on your feet. You feel like you're taking notice of things a little bit better. It's subtle, but it's enough that you can notice. You are also drenched in water, and you do see Akhrua, like, underhand you a towel. Alright then, time to do straws again, and we'll see who...
Isn't it my turn?
Oh no, we're just doing straws again.
Oh, okay.
Well, it is actually your turn, because I rolled a 2 on the d4. Darren was so eager to go next, they willed it in.
Yeah.
So, as you make your way over to the waterfall, I want you to give me a Constitution and a Wisdom saving throw.
Oh.
Rip.
You find yourself struggling to actually find purchase on the rock, and you basically get knocked over by the waterfall, taking 12 cold damage. Due to the pain, and also just not being used to this intensity of rushing water, you struggle to find the ability to meditate. after trying for a few minutes and not being successful, you kind of find yourself not really feeling like there's any point in wasting any more time. It's like the feeling where, you know when you wake up in the middle of the night and you can't get back to sleep?
Yes.
It's like that. And so you head back. A few of you notice that Darren's got like a bruise on their face. And Akhrua underhands you a towel.
Thanks.
So, Akhrua, you're all going to do straws again. And Felix, it's your turn now.
Wonderful. Okay.
As you make your way over to the waterfall, you notice the rock. You can smell what he's cooking. It's a pretty mediocre acting career. You are able to find purchase on the rock. You struggle a bit. Unfortunately, the DC was 10, which is why Dairon got the results they did.
Yep.
It takes you a bit of time to really close your mind off. Especially because the coldness of the water is really like... It's almost taking over anything else in your mind. But after a bit of time, you find yourself able to still your thoughts. And just like Valdane, you recall the stuff that you've done along this adventure of yours. The people you've met, the lives you've helped, the friends you've made, the enemies you've fought. And... how do I describe this? You notice an inky black, like darkness, almost beckoning you.
Well, they always said to not go towards the light. They never said anything about the dark.
You reach out for it, and your vision comes to, and you look around to see the surroundings you were at before you sat down. You make your way back, and you feel more alert, more awake, more lighter on your feet. Ever so slightly. And when you return, you also get a towel passed to you. So, Akhrua looks to you, Seamus, and Rua. So because I'm a bit bored of seeing you draw straws, you're going to be doing rock, paper, scissors.
Oh, great.
So, Dylan, I want you to roll me a flat d20. If you get the higher number, you win. So
Wait, that's not rock, paper, scissors.
I'll do the first roll. And you have to you have to beat a 19.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's gonna beat it.
You watch as you throw paper and Rua just sends out scissors.
I imagine like Rua is like, I'm gonna pick scissors. I'm gonna pick scissors. That crafty Rua, he's obviously gonna pick rock. No, I'm telling you, I'm gonna pick scissors.
So, you lose, and you go next. As you walk to the waterfall, you prepare to try and get on the rock by the waterfall. And I need you to make your rolls.
Ay, ay, ay. Con and wisdom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ay, 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 ay. These are the two I'm like the worst at. Yeah.
Rip.
So,
I get nothing!
You do hurt yourself for 10 cold damage. But
Cool.
it takes you about, like, 10 minutes before you can eventually still your mind. You, like I've described before, since embarking on this long journey you've had with your friends, you recall the friends you've made, the people you've helped, the enemies you fought, all of that nonsense. And eventually, you find yourself staring down this... How do I describe it? This, like, roaring flame. It almost feels like it will burn the skin off your body. But you find yourself reaching out to it. Excuse me. And your vision comes to. And you are greeted by the same familiar scene you saw before you shut your eyes. You walk back, still in a bit of pain, but you were able to find some opportunity to meditate.
Cool.
Akhrua passes you a towel, and then you see as Rua walks off. And I will do public roles for this. Where is his character sheet? There it is. And... Oh. Okay. So, you see as Rua heads off to the waterfall. And you notice, after like nearly 20 minutes, Rua comes back. And he just, as he walks over to you and receives the towel from his granddad, he just shrugs at you guys. I just couldn't meditate. Yeah.
May I try again?
Akhrua chimes in and just says, if you can't meditate, there's no point in forcing it. Trying to force yourself to close your mind will probably only make it harder to close your mind. But this does... How do I describe it? This might not seem much to you all, but this helps me learn more about you and ways I can kind of specialize your training. So, let's head back. And he leads you back to the dojo. Let me bring it to here. And, yeah. So, as Akhrua leads you all into the dojo, he has you gather around him. And, you know, like... So, I'll start in order of who actually had their meditations. Aldane, how did you feel after your meditation?
I felt calmed, almost. More resolute. More
You know,
sure of myself.
Dairon?
I didn't have anything.
Are you also okay? By the way, you had a bit of a nasty bruise.
It hurt like hell, but I'm okay.
Felix?
I went into some darkness and then felt like more observant, I guess.
Cool. Seamus?
I guess I felt cold, but then getting warmed up. Was
Did
that
you piss yourself?
Surfer's Delight?
You actually didn't find yourself having pissed yourself. He's just asking
No.
that because he doesn't know what you mean. He's just wondering. Okay. And then he looks to Rua, and he just says, I was just sat there, and even though I felt comfortable, I was just too busy thinking about what was going on outside. And Akhrua nods. That's completely fine. So, what we're going to try and do next is... I want to see how well you can push against your limitations. I want to see you do what I can do, which is to say, basically, forcing your abilities to almost bend to you. Your powers are yours, and therefore, you should be allowed to twist them and force them to go beyond what the general expected limitation would be. That isn't to say that the results from this training will give you those results right now, but it can at least open the door for later in your development. So to start with, Aldane.
Yes.
I want you to hit me with the strongest smite you have.
Okay. That would probably be a divine smite then.
That's what I mean. So,
Level...
you don't need to roll a... So you can just click the actual attack, but it will be considered as hit, because Akhrua is letting you deal damage to him.
Okay. Can I use longsword warning for that? Or just a longsword?
It's just... This would just be a regular longsword roll.
Okay.
Yeah, the 10 doesn't matter, it's just a matter of for the sake of damage.
And level 3 divine smite would be 4d8, correct?
Yes.
Oh, that was weak.
So you watch as Akhrua's standing there, and as Aldane goes to swing his sword, you watch as Akhrua, as he's basically like stood straight on Aldane, he sort of angles himself, bringing his right foot backwards to like a side profile, and then raising his left hand to basically catch the sword almost with the back of his left hand. And you see the searing light of Aldane's smite, and the blade connect. And you do see like a bruise has formed on Akhrua's arm, but it's only a bruise. Again.
Okay then. Oh, that's much juicier.
And you watch as Akhrua returns to his neutral stance, and he does that same pose again. And for the rest of you who aren't Aldane, give me perception checks. Seamus?
Yep.
So you all notice, the moment Akhrua's hand makes contact with Aldane's sword, you see like a flash of silver energy form as like a sphere around Akhrua. And it actually makes you realize it's a similar... You kind of look back to the time you sparred with Akhrua, which was only yesterday for you. No, it was earlier today even. And you notice it was very similar. He was basically doing whatever that is when he was fighting you guys. Again, Akhrua says to you.
We'll just have to restore a spell slot real quick. Alright. There we go.
Damn, this game hates you. It keeps giving you, like, low rolls.
Mm-hmm.
You do it again, and you watch as Akhrua puts his hand there again, and the rest of you see that flash of energy. You can tell, the rest of you, he's actually taking the full damage of the attack, but it just seemingly isn't doing as much visible effect on him as it should do. In fact, you notice in between the times that Aldane's taking to prepare his strike, the bruise is actually like almost healing over. And after that, you watch as Akhrua looks at his hand and sort of shakes it a bit and like wiggles his fingers and then like rolls his wrist. Right then. That was definitely insightful. But that isn't enough that I want from you. My intent for you, at least, Aldane, is to eventually get to a point where you can go beyond what a paladin's general accepted level of smiting would be.
Okay.
I want you to be able
Beyond
to...
plus ultra.
I want you to be able to smite at the same level as like a max level spell would be. When you smite and when you are trying to kill someone, I want it to be at a point where the world struggles to handle the weight of your attack. If you want to obliterate someone, that is what you will do. Which is why I want you to go again.
Okay.
All of us?
Him.
Okay.
Before you do the roll, give me a... What would this be? As you look deep inside yourself, Aldane, and focus, give me a charisma saving throw. As you channel the energy into your sword, the rest of you notice there's a different glow to it. It's still the same kind of like color, I guess you could say, but the intensity is greater. And as you are prepared to swing your sword, Aldane, when you're doing your divine smites, roll the dice as if you're doing a 4th level spell slot.
So one more dice.
Yes.
Alright. Fucking hell. Fucking hell.
As
Still not bad.
as you connect and make the strike, the rest of you are actually like having to avert your gaze because of how bright the energy is from Aldane. And as even you, Aldane, actually have to close your eyes as soon as your blade impacts. And when you all see again, you notice Aldane's sword has been shattered. His regular non-magical longsword is in pieces on the ground. And you actually see as the pinky and ring finger on Akhrua's hand has been mangled. And most of the skin has been seared off. Akhrua winces, and as he's like shaking his hand, you watch as the skin and damage on his hand begins to regenerate. And he's actually going to do a second wind. Nope. D10 plus 20. Nearly max as well. And yeah, you watch as like Akhrua channels silver energy into his hand, and the damage seems to be almost completely gone. The visible damage, anyway. Perfect. That was really good, Aldane. And it gets to the point, Aldane, it's almost like a delayed reaction, but you notice as well the gauntlet from the armor that Akhrua's let you borrow. The gauntlet, the armor around your fingers and most of the palm on your hand is gone. And your hand actually feels a little bit numb.
Holy shit.
That's what I want to see. Don't forget that feeling. Sure, you'll eventually be able to do smites of that power, but if you keep improving, you'll be able to go even further beyond. Right then. So, next. He then points at Felix, points at Dairon, points at Seamus, and then points at Rua, and then goes back to Felix. And he does this a few times.
Oh, he's doing meanie.
Before eventually settling on Seamus.
Oh no, what?
So, Seamus. For you... I want you to concentrate on a spell. Any spell you can. That you want to concentrate on.
I can learn any spell or improve?
No, just use a spell that requires you to concentrate on it right now.
Oh, okay. Let me look. I mean, first and foremost, let's do animate objects. Yeah, because that is concentration up to 1 minute.
Mhm.
So animate objects. I'll animate.
If you tell him you're casting that, he'll give you the maximum number of daggers you would need.
Oh, I was gonna say I could just like pull out some chanclas. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll let him give me the knives.
Okay,
Yes,
next.
He actually holds them in his hands and then like tosses them in the air. And you notice they're about to fall on your friends.
So I animate objects.
You do it just in time, and you notice that one of the daggers was about to like land on Rua's head.
That's not very nice.
He just shrugs at you. Alright then. So, while you do that, he then, like...
I see what's happening.
He tells you, so, keep holding on to that spell. And what I want you to do is to focus on the sensation of casting that spell. Okay?
Okay.
And then he reaches inside, because he's wearing like his normal clothes, and he reaches inside and pulls out several more daggers. And he does the exact same thing. Cast it again.
Can't. I only have one 4th level spell slot.
Oh shit.
One 5th
He
level.
just-
One 5th level.
Oh shit. And as you say that, he actually swiftly actually, wait, does he? Let's see.
I didn't think I'd have to cast this more
Oh no,
than
wait,
one.
that's Rua. I did the wrong character sheet. What would that be of Akhrua's scores? We'll just go off that. So it's actually a non-nat... be an 18. So you see Akhrua swiftly, like, move over to catch the knives as they're about to land on some of you.
Did Dairon try to catch one of them?
Akhrua just catches it before you get a chance to. He's just that quick. Well, that's stupid of me to not know. But, none of you got hurt. And he just, like... You watch as he, like, takes a moment to wipe the sweat off his brow. So, what I want you to do then, Seamus, is cast haste on one of your friends right now.
Okay. I'm gonna cast haste on fuck it, Felix, you get haste.
As you do that, you find yourself having to drop concentration. The knives fall on the ground. And Akhrua pauses for a moment. Okay then. I want you to drop a silence on Aldane. Around Aldane for a moment.
Wait, what?
You okay?
Do you cast
Done.
it?
Yep.
As you cast it, Felix, you suddenly become lethargic. As Seamus has to drop haste to cast this. Aldane, you can't hear anything.
Can I have a little
Ooh.
break now?
We're not done with you, Felix. Now, Seamus. Concentrate. Okay?
Okay.
And I want you to cast another spell of concentration. Give me a charisma saving throw, Seamus.
Okay. Oh my.
Does any of you have inspiration to give him?
Nope.
Because you should have inspiration anyway for that fight against Akhrua, because I'm sure I said I gave it you all.
Oh, okay. So then, should I just use my inspiration right now?
If you want. I forgot to mention that, actually. I should have mentioned it. But yeah, if you burn it on that... For the briefest moment... Actually, what spell are you casting alongside?
Haste.
Who are you casting haste on?
Or actually, you know what? Since I'm nat 20ing this, I'm gonna go polymorph.
On who?
You already
uh,
used your 4th level.
No, it was actually a 5th level spell, was animate objects. I have 3 4th level slots, so I'm gonna use one for polymorph, and use that on Daron.
What do you turn Dyron into?
A koi fish.
Which can only survive in water.
Well, good thing there's a waterfall right outside.
You actually took like a 2-minute walk to get back.
Dyron will kill
Fine,
you.
you could be a fox.
The cooler animal. So, Dyron, everyone seems a lot taller than you. Also, you find yourself all 4 of your limbs on the ground. You also notice you have orange fur, like a fox.
Can I hiss and try to claw Seamus?
Funnily enough, though, you notice as that happens, Aldane, you see Darren turn into a fox. You still can't hear anything. And for a brief moment, it gets to the point, Seamus, where your brain is actually starting to, like, tense up. And you have to drop concentration on both the spells. Darren is no longer a fox, and Aldane can hear again.
And that was
Would
hard.
it be like mid-leap at Seamus when that
Yeah,
happens?
You just glump him.
Yeah.
And there you go. Try not to forget that feeling, Seamus. Eventually it gets to the point where your brain doesn't feel the effects of that. Just like for Aldane, his hand will stop being burnt and feeling numb. Then he points at Dyron, points at Felix, points at Rua, and does that for a bit. And then settles on Felix. Felix.
Okay.
While this is happening, I'm gonna have to step away for a second.
No problem. Felix. Felix.
That is my name. Don't wear it out.
I just might if I can't think of anything else to train you with specifically. You already used your Misty Step, didn't you?
Did I?
Did you?
I don't think so. I think I used Thunderstep.
Okay, Felix, cast Misty Step. Anywhere you want to be within your radius that you can reach.
Okay. Like, as far as possible, or just anywhere?
Anywhere. It's up to you.
Alright, Misty Step behind Seamus. Boo!
Nothing personnel. Okay. Is that only once a day?
Once per long or short rest. So considering we took a short rest, I might have used it and just gotten it back.
You watch as Akhrua purses his lips. You still have your ink, right?
Little bit, yeah.
Use some of the ink I gave you. Try to cast it again. Give me a. What's your spellcasting modifier? What's your spellcasting stat again?
Technically, I think it's dexterity. Let me check that.
Give me a dex. If it is, then give me a dex save.
Like, it's really weird.
It's either use dex or an int save.
Okay, it is int, yeah. I just have to have it on my sheet as dex, because that's what the modifier uses.
Right.
Either way, it's the same roll, so...
Yeah, yeah. So, as you focus, you find yourself using your ink, and you're able to teleport again. Teleport. Oh, good. Very nice. So, that's basically it. Don't forget. I mean, you watch as. Give me an insight if any of you want to. Anyone else?
I'll do it.
Yeah.
I imagine Darren would want to.
I'll open
All my
up
shit
Darren's
rolls are
sheet.
happening today.
That was Dairon. Wow. Aldane, you can tell Akhrua genuinely was trying to think of something for Felix.
Yep. Sounds about right.
What a wonderful planned lesson that was.
Sometimes the best plans are the ones that we make on the spot. Okay. He then points between Rua and Dairon. Rua. And you see as Rua, like, what's it called? Like, you know, is attentive. You see Akhrua, like, taking a moment to think. He watches Rua's, like, looking at you guys, like, confused. I want you to spar with me.
Yeah, I'm back. Sorry.
Actually, you know what? No, we'll do that after. Dairon. Akhrua
Okay.
immediately looks to you. Dairon.
Sure, what's up?
You watch as Akrua's, like, stroking his chin.
I try and, like, look into his head, like, read his thought.
Yeah, give me an insight roll if you want to roll it. You can almost hear the cogs struggling to turn in his head. If you all actually want to give me an insight as well, actually, because this can be part of your roll, Dairon. Rua didn't pass. Felix passed. Dairon, Aldane, Seamus. Okay.
Trash.
You actually passed.
Oh,
Aldane.
Oh, sorry. Thought we already did an insight check.
You all can tell, because of the kind of person Akhrua is, and how you know him, when it comes to fighting, he kind of just gets things. You can kind of tell it's hard for him to really verbalize or try and explain concepts that to him, he kind of just innately understands. Like, when he's doing things, he knows how to do it, or he already has an idea of how to do it for himself. But it's hard for him to try and think of a way to help you with what he wants you to be able to do. I know, actually, Daron.
Or just raises an eyebrow.
I want you to go to the other end of the room and hide behind one of those tatami walls. And he points like this one or that one at the very bottom of the map. Okay? And you realize Akhrua's like, oh, I should have actually waited for to... I shouldn't have actually said that yet. I should have explained what I wanted them to do first. Okay, Dairon. Now, I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to try and sense where each of us are in this room. And basically, going from left to right, yell out who is who, okay?
Okay. I'm actually gonna not look and do perception.
You don't... So, yeah, I was going to say, so for perception, so Akhrua basically moves you all into places. So Aldane, you're placed here. Felix, you're placed there. Akhrua moves to here. He puts Rua there, and Seamus is here. So, as you close your eyes, Dairon, you try to sense. You're not looking, your eyes are shut, and you have a very good idea that you know where you can have a vague idea that where Rua and Aldane is, but the other three, you aren't sure. So you know from left to right, you don't know, then it would be Rua, then Aldane, and then the last two you don't know.
I say
And then-
that.
Very good. Now, try to... How do I describe this? Try it again, but this time, take a moment to collect yourself. And Dairon, I want you to give me a wisdom save, but with disadvantage. So, as you take a moment to use perception, Akhrua is going to move people around again. And so, he swaps people around. Give me a perception check.
Can I use advantage?
Yeah, you can.
Okay, I'm using my inspiration here.
You burn your inspiration, and you can tell a lot of it is you actually hearing for Aldane's footsteps, because Aldane being like the physically strongest and most muscular, you kind of have an idea of like his general gait and just hearing where his footsteps would be. So you have a good idea of that Aldane is the fourth person from left to right. Akhrua is the most difficult because his steps are so quiet, you can't perceive them. You can tell, just based on the sounds, Seamus hasn't moved, but Felix and Rua have. But you aren't sure of the order, so you only know that Seamus is the leftmost person,
Okay.
and that Aldane is the middle right.
So fourth in order from left to right.
But you can just barely tell that it seems like Rua is at the very end on the right.
Can I tell where? I can't tell where Felix is.
No. Or Akhrua. So it seems like...
Shame.
Sorry, go ahead.
And other than, can I tell from the absence?
No.
Okay. Seamus on the far left, Aldane in position 4, Rua in position 5, left to right.
Yep, exactly correct. This wasn't necessarily to tell if you could sense where everyone was, but this is to see how your perception is. And it's also to see how well you can sense people based on their strength. This in particular is something I'll be training all of you to try and do, but given Dairon has, along with Rua, some of the best ability to perceive things,
Hey, what about me?
You do as well, but Dairon's specifically trained in this kind of thing.
Ah.
And also, Rua has ki, so Rua can sense the ki within people. You are very perceptive as well, Seamus, but there's a nuance to it.
It's like having an eye versus. It's having the eye for detail and then being able to see the artistic.
So,
Huh.
Well, I'd say it's more like being able to smell shit in the air and knowing what animal made that shit.
Or even, you have a good sense of taste, and then being a sommelier.
Yeah, let's go with that one. So, Akhrua gestures for you all to come back. So, yeah, so the point was, eventually, for you all to be able to sense things, I can do it kind of innately. If you all were to go around the room, I would be able to have a good idea of where you were. In fact, when you all rested yesterday, I actually stood outside the door and, just to make sure I'm still in shape with sensing people, could tell where you all were, roughly in the room. It's not entirely helpful, but it could be the difference between knowing how strong an enemy might be before you meet it, which could help temper your expectations, or know how hard you need to go into a fight right out the get-go.
I need to learn how to read the fight.
I mean, you all need to, but again, it's more helpful for you to know at least, because at least someone has the best chance of gauging things. Also, everyone else has their own skill set. I think it's that I would feel like is better for them to focus on more so right now. Especially because it'll also potentially help you with being able to read people for your particular skill set, Dairon. So, the last person, Rua. What I want you to do, Rua, is basically... How do I describe this? I want you to hit me with the strongest thing you have. And Rua pauses for a moment, and he attaches the mechanical arm that basically lets him manipulate energy. If you remember, it was the one that he used to basically destroy the Pharaoh's orb that was his focus for his anti-magic barriers. He then asks you all to step back, and he waits for you all to step back, as Rua also gets into position. So Akhrua asks you to like step over to the side, like over here or over there. If you all want to move, thank you.
Just anywhere?
Anywhere that isn't like directly in between the two of them. Could you step a little bit further back, Dairon?
Aldane.
I mean, I am waiting for Aldane as well, but... So. Get ready, Rua. And you watch as Rua activates his astral self. And you notice as he charges his arm up, to the point where you notice, like, before when he shot that beam, like, his arm begins to crackle with platinum energy. And you watch as Akhrua gets into position as well, gathering energy between the palms of his hands, as you see frozen, like, air form around his hands. And, actually, I'll have Akhrua step back a bit so they're equal distance. And then he tells Rua, go. And you watch as Rua holds out his hand, and his mechanical arm fires the laser beam. His astral self actually gets sucked into the beam, and it seems to make the attack stronger. So you, with his beam, with Rua's attack, it's a 5-foot line. The line, the width of the beam that he's firing this time is 10 feet. Now that the astral self has been sucked into the arm. And then you notice as Akhrua fires back with a cone of cold. And you notice as the two of them are basically clashing, you can see Rua's slowly being pushed back. You notice if Rua falls, he's going to get hit by the attack. And, yeah. You can see Rua is, like, really struggling. And it's crazy, because the amount of energy that's flying between the two of them is intense. Like, how do I describe it? Think of when Goku and Vegeta first did their beam clash in the Saiyan Saga. Obviously not to that same level, because, you know, you're not Planet Busters. But it's still, like, enough that it's actually shaking the room that you're in. And eventually, Rua's beam dies down, and you watch as Akhrua stops firing his cone of cold. And, yeah, it's quite a, you know, things are quiet for a few moments, and then you watch as Rua's mechanical arm explodes. Like the actual arm itself, not the whole thing that is prosthetic is. You know, just the thing that he's attached on. And Akhrua nods and says, again. And he watches Rua sighs, and he gets another one, and he reactivates his astral self, and begins to charge up. And Akhrua looks to you all as he gathers energy into his hands, and he says to you, I would recommend you stand behind Rua. Aldane. So you watch again, and this time you notice Akhrua's firing his cone of cold, at a higher level. And as Rua and Akhrua clash, you begin to see Rua being pushed back, as he's struggling to not fall over. And at this point, it's almost much more one-sided, as Rua gets pushed back another 5 feet. And you can tell, like, Rua's legs are shaking. And how do I describe this? Give me an insight check, all of you.
Another one.
Okay.
What?
Okay.
It's not letting me open my
In the
character sheet.
sticket. What the hell?
It's making me
Yeah,
log
sorry.
back into roll 20.
What the hell, roll 20? Get your shit together.
Aldane?
Is it doing the same thing to you, Jack?
Yeah, it's doing the same thing to me.
Yeah. It's making us log back in. Page not found. What?
Roll 20, get your shit together.
Okay, that worked.
Does Roll20 use Cloud
works.
Strike?
Don't think so.
Imagine.
What'd you do, Dylan?
I just
Oh, there we go.
opened a new window and typed in the URL again.
Let's see if this works.
Will it launch the game, though?
I mean, I haven't done anything.
Yeah,
Yes,
I'm not
Kaido,
blaming
it's
this on
all
you.
your fault.
I'm blaming this on roll 20 being stupid.
It's the true power of Akhrua. he's kicked your routers. He's so powerful, he's crashed the Roll20 server. If you want, oh, are you back in?
Yeah, I'm in.
Yeah, I think so. Let's see if it'll let me open my character sheet.
Okay. And Sickett.
We're going to be wrapping up soonish anyway, so if you can't do it, I'll just open your character sheet if need be.
Got it.
So you all notice, if you all don't stand behind Rua and help him, you're all going to get hit by the attack as well.
Ah, shit. What can I do to help him?
Can I just do the action help?
Seamus, do you also stand by Rua? Well, you'd have to stand behind Aldane, Seamus.
I'll get a little extra layer of protection here.
So, all of you, give me a strength saving throw combined. So this will be an average roll.
Oh
Do we
god, I
get
hope
the
I don't
plus?
bring down
You
the
get the
average.
boost
Yeah.
from being in proximity to me.
Wow, Felix is locked in.
Hey, what? How do I roll a nat 17 on a strength save?
You get a +4, by the way.
So, you all stand by Rua as he's like struggling in this beam clash. And it gets to the point where, because of this, Rua's able to purely focus on the attack. And it gets to the point where his arm just explodes. And it just makes a large blast of energy. And you all actually get knocked back a few feet. And you're all prone. But when you come to and you see and look over at Akhrua, you see his hands. You actually see the skin is like scorched off. And as his hands slowly regenerate, he is grinning ear to ear. Perfect. Right then, so what we'll do is we will take a lunch break. This is in character, by the way. We will have some food, and then we will do some basic exercises. But I continue to be impressed by you all.
Thank you.
And that is where we're going to call the session.
Fun.
Fun times.
Okay.
Right.
With the end of the session comes the end of the stream, so thank you everybody for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed. In terms of future stuff, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday and Sunday as always. Please do give us a follow here on Twitch and all that YouTube stuff.
Like and subscribe, comment down below, press that bell icon, etc.
And otherwise, hopefully we will see you on Tuesday. Good night.